Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Coming Clean. So this week, my heart has been really heavy and it's been hard for me to sleep at night. And I've kind of just been crying randomly often. And I've had this guilt inside of me knowing that I'm comfortable in a bed while there's so many people in the world that has had their life just shattering down around them. I've had so many questions run through my mind about why this is happening and why there is so much hate in the world today. So when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for today's episode, I wanted to get into something that I think could help us all out right now. I know the last year and a half has been wild, to say the absolute least. And we have all not only been dealing with our own stressors, but also the stressors of the world around us. There has been endless amounts of unexpected moments and so many unpredictable times, and the endless amount of things that we cannot control seems to have multiplied. Regardless of the pandemic or the global crises going on around us, there will always be moments in our lives that we cannot control the elements around us or the circumstances that we are in. So today, I really wanted to talk about how to deal with those moments and work on only controlling exactly what you can control. All right, y'all, let's dive into this topic today. Let me first start out by saying you have no control over many things that are going to happen throughout your lifetime. This, sadly, is the brutal truth, but some of us refuse to accept that because so many people, even myself sometimes, worry about too many things that we have absolutely no control over. There's a quote that I saw recently that said, and I quote, "Incredible change happens in your life when you decide to take control of what you do have power over instead of craving control over what you do not." I think that is so powerful. Knowing the difference between things we can control and things we cannot control are, to me, very important for our self-reflection, our self-growth, and our peace of mind. Most people understand that you can't always prevent bad things from happening. Life is not always sunshine and rainbows, and sometimes bad things are going to happen. But there are people out there who worry about every single thing, always, all the time. If this is you, and I'm saying that I am guilty of this as well, and I have been so guilty of this lately, I have been so worried for myself, for my daughter, for our future, for the future of the world around us. But if this is you and you just worry and worry and worry and you worry so much that your worries keep you occupied on the wrong things, your worrying ultimately just ends up wasting your time, your energy, your mood, because worrying about things that you cannot control doesn't do anything for you, and it does nothing for everyone else. It is plain and simple no good. The reason I wanted to make this episode today is because that I realized that I internally was going down this downhill spiral of doing exactly this, building up so much unnecessary stress, anxiety, anger, worrying about things that I have absolutely no control over. I knew that if I was feeling this, many of you might be feeling this as well. I want you to know that you're not alone in these feelings, and this is a very valid feeling, but it is not beneficial for your mental health. Instead of trying to take control of what is out of your control, instead of worrying about things that you just simply can't control, let's take back that control and focus on things that we can control, and let's hone in on that. Let's focus on the positive, and let's focus on being productive with what we have. When I find myself worrying, especially lately, and also especially being a mom, my worries and anxiety level is, and has been since she's been born, through the roof. It has affected my sleep, my energy, my productivity, and my focus. And when I find myself worrying, I like to take a minute to examine the things that I do have control over. Because you can't prevent a storm from coming, but you can prepare for it. Now, don't listen and think that you have to worry about the future struggles and always prepare for the worst. That's not what I'm saying at all. I just mean that you can be mindful of the place that you're in and prepare yourself for the hard times. You can focus on what you know to be true in your life right now, and you can also have daily affirmations for yourself so that when those tough times come along, you already know the truth and you're more equipped to handle a situation when things may arise. This allows you to move through it better because you know that you don't have to stress about things that don't matter. And you also don't need to make up these crazy scenarios in your own mind. We as humans tend to do that. We think of a situation and we kind of like blow it up in our mind. We think that it's something like bigger than it needs to be. So I want to talk about things that I've even reminded myself lately to do that has helped me tremendously to kind of gain my control back. And it's reminding myself the things that I do have control over and kind of help shift my focus to those things. You can control your kindness, and you can control your output and your positivity and your love. You can control your work ethic, your mindset. You can control your wellness, and if you're eating clean foods and if you're moving your body often. You can't control how people, treat you and how someone else behaves, but you can definitely control your reactions, your emotions, your language, your behavior, and your external efforts. You can recognize that sometimes it's okay, but you you always remember this, you always have control of your energy and your attitude. When you put your energy into the things you can control, you'll be so much more effective. Going back to having affirmations, because I've spoke about this many times about putting things around your house, but I think it's so important to have truths that can remind yourself of daily and weekly affirmations. Also, like I like to write things down, but I'm not saying you have to write all this stuff down, but it would be beneficial if you could have things maybe like on your closet wall, on your mirror, on your refrigerator. But affirmations can be things that you internally say to yourself daily. Not something that you just see daily, but you internally like say these things to yourself on a daily basis. You can write them out, but it's just about seeing these things every day to remind yourself, to affirm to yourself, but do whatever works for you. Affirmations that, remind you daily can be simple, but at the end of the day, they can be truths that you know and tell yourself in any situation. And that can help you take action or calm down. Having some quick little phrase on hand can kind of keep you from wasting your time on things that you just can't control. Some good ones that I like, I wrote some of them down. I wanted to read them to you. So, you are not in control, and that's okay. That's one of them. Another one is it's out of your hands, and it deserves to have freedom from your mind as well. Another one I like to do is yesterday was heavy, put it down. Like walk away from yesterday. That was yesterday, put it down. Another one is dare to live by letting go. And another one is don't let your insecurities speak for you. And final one I wanted to read out is you are always going to be okay. So reading these affirmations to yourself every day, I just feel like are so beneficial. My family, my aunt, I love her to pieces. She actually has, and I love it, she has affirmations like all over her house, in her bathroom, right when you walk into her door, in her bedroom, on her refrigerator. And I just think it's such a powerful tool to use. Again, I'm not saying that you need to fill your house with quotes, but I truly believe seeing this every day does wonders for not only this, but for your mental health. And if you develop a few healthy mantras that will keep you, mentally strong, it's going to help you combat self-doubt, catastrophic predictions that are happening in your life and in the world, and other things that you just simply cannot control. Another thing that might be helpful is finding a distraction for that worry, for worrying about that thing you can't control. Obviously, deal with your hard situations. Don't run from them. Don't push those off to the side. But I feel like it can be really helpful to find something that allows you to take your mind off that stressful situation, because also being alone with your worries and your thoughts can, just put you in this spiral that's downhill into a direction that's just not productive. For example, like me, I work at home and I work from home. And sometimes I get lost in my thoughts and my anxieties just fill my head. Sometimes it's just beneficial for me to find somewhere to work for the day. Going to a coffee shop or, some little shop, a corner shop to, get me out of my house and to stop worrying about things that I cannot control. Because remember, control what you can control. And I can control my environment, my working environment. So if I just get myself out of that environment and go somewhere that might help the situation, it's going to help my mind. It's going to help my mindset. And, regaining control can be achieved through mindfulness. So mindfulness is a practice of being present, of being self-aware, and being engaged in whatever you are doing and where you are in that moment in time. In practicing mindfulness, we train our attention to observe our thoughts and our feelings, and then we alter our behavior towards them. So slowly, we are able to train ourselves to bring our attention to the present and be more open about what is going on in our own minds and our response to the world around us or that situation that we are in. You can be mindful of your gratitude, your self-talk, your breath, your body language. So today, as you are listening to this and you're hearing me, speak about being mindful, and as we wrap up this episode, I would love if you with me could practice on being more mindful. Because again, we control what we can control. Okay, let's move in to the 5 things. For today's 5 things, I want to focus on daily things that we can control. There are so many things that we practice every single day to reduce our anxiety and make our lives less stressful. So I kind of wanted to dive into 5 things that I find extremely beneficial that I can focus on that are in my control. Number 1 is daily movement and mental health exercises. So exercising gives you a chance, or for me anyways, and I was talking to Lambert about this. I'm like, what does exercising do for you? But listening to your music, getting into the gym, and thinking about absolutely nothing, it's actually one of my favorite parts of the day. I feel like I have like a peace of mind. I can breathe. I'm not like worrying about anything. And if I was, I'm definitely taking it out on the gym. It's also a place that you can focus on yourself, and that is something that you can control entirely, is you. And I'm not saying that you have to go to the gym. I know a lot of us now work out from home. But even if it's just moving your body for 20 to 30 minutes a day, get out there, use a little bit of time to move your body. And I'm telling you, it'll not only just make your mental health stay in a better place, but it's something that you can control, and it's something that's going to make you feel really good. Number 2 is your words. You can control your words. I can repeat that again because sometimes in certain situations, we feel like we cannot control our words, but we can control our words. So no apologizing for things that you accidentally said in the heat of emotion. Not only can words that you say to others, be hurtful or be inspiring, but you can control that. You can control what you say to yourself as well. And that is so important. When you look in the mirror, when you're trying on clothes, when you're, whatever it is, you can control what you say to others, and you can control what you say to yourself. So be loving, be kind, be positive. Number 3 is productivity. You can control your productivity, how productive you are, what your work ethic is like. And controlling your productivity is so important. Sometimes it's just getting things done and crossing things off your list, to me anyways, makes me feel so good, like I've accomplished so much, and it leaves me in such a good mood. I know that a lot of people, even myself, we took advantage of quarantine and accomplished some really big goals. And if you didn't, don't be harsh on yourself. It's never too late because you can still do that. Number 4, and this is probably one that we all need to practice, is our internet usage. This one goes back to a podcast that I had earlier on, and the impact of internet on your health, your mental health. Does your usage have a positive impact on your mental health, or does it have a negative impact on your mental health? So we are in control of how much time we spend on our phones, who we are following on social media. Is it, giving us anxiety, stress, worry? So control your usage by just using the internet for being productive, learning, connecting, spreading love and positivity. And number 5, I just want to close it out with this one. Number 5 is focus on what matters in your life. Focus on what matters in your life. This will increase your confidence. And when your confidence increases, so does your self-satisfaction. And when you are satisfied with yourself, it does abundance to your life. Focus only on what you're in control of, and that will give you peace. You have the ability to pay attention to things that bring you joy and peace. Focus on things that, that matter to you, that bring you happiness and freedom. I know this is like a tough one to practice every day, and it's not something that comes easy for us. You can have words of affirmation all around your house. You can do all these things, and you could still, at the end of the day, have this worry and anxiety and stress in your life. It's not something that just goes away. It's natural. It's human. We're not perfect, and I'm not making this podcast to say that you need to be. But happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control and some things are not. The main task in our life is simple, and it's to identify and separate what matters so that we can, say clearly to ourselves what we are in control of and what we are not. And we do have the choice to choose those things. I hope this was helpful for y'all today. I honestly would love to hear your feedback. So if you're listening to the podcast, tag me in on your Instagram stories, write me a review, go to Apple Podcast. You guys can rate the podcast. If you're watching it on YouTube, you can write me a little comment under there. Let me know what you guys want to hear next. I just, I kind of go with the flow. I'm just kind of seeing like how I'm feeling that week, but I would love to, dive into topics that y'all want to hear about. So I just want to say thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. If you're not watching, go to my YouTube, Paige Hathaway, and subscribe to my channel. But I will see you guys next week. I love you guys and have a great week.